What are the issues involved in getting the green hydrogen in our country?
What could be the better indicators of economic progress of a society?
How do you see this work from home concept for women?
So, can you tell me the difference between habitat and niche?
India is going to host the G20 summit this year. So, what do you think? There are more opportunities for India in hosting this summit, or there are more challenges for India?
May I come in, sir?
Yes, come in.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Please be seated.
Thank you, sir.
Please give a brief introduction about yourself.
Good morning, sir. I am Aryan. I was born in Jabalpur, Madhya Pradesh. I did my schooling from Sanskriti School, New Delhi, and my graduation from IIT Delhi in electrical engineering. In my free time, I enjoy playing chess.
Aryan, you have done your graduation in electrical engineering, you said, from the IIT Delhi. So, why did you not go for the campus placement?
Sir, I had decided by my second year that I would go for civil services. So, I wanted to give it a complete dedicated attempt. So, I did not go for placement, sir.
But then I can see from your DAF that you have scored 9.86.
Yes,
which is
sir.
supposed to be a very, very good grade.
Thank you, sir.
So, I fail to understand why such brilliant students don't pursue their career in their own core field of education, or try to become a scientist or a researcher. Why so many young minds coming out from the IITs want to join the civil services?
Sir, as my honorable director used to say, engineering at IIT is not intended to make us experts in electrical or mechanical, but rather to make us capable of solving problems, especially that of society. I feel, sir, that is what I have learned through my engineering. And my high CGPA is also due to my sincerity and hard work that I have consistently put in through the years. So I feel, sir, most students also have a similar tendency. Today, sir, civil services presents an excellent combination of career path as well as an opportunity to contribute to society, to make a difference in people's lives. I believe, sir, this is what people look for.
Have you heard of Just Energy Transition Partnership?
Yes, sir.
What is this concept?
Sir, energy transition refers to transitioning from fossil fuels as energy source to greener energy, renewable energy. So globally, sir, there are many such partnerships in order to increase the share of renewable energy, to increase investment in such plants such as solar energy. This is just one of them, sir.
Is India a part of this partnership?
Sorry, sir, I'm not able to.
You are not aware of this. You tell me, government of India is committed to move towards net zero carbon emission by 2070. So what, and there is an urgent need from, as you mentioned just now, switching from fossil to non-fossil fuel, alternative sources. So what exactly is the plan of action decided by the government of India to achieve this target?
Sir, in order to achieve net zero, government has decided to increase the share of renewable energy. Sir, a lot of solar projects are coming up, solar parks, solar plants. There are also investments in wind energy, hydro energy. Similarly, sir, there is intended to be a gradual phase down of coal. While we would be increasing thermal power plants also to meet our energy security, but the relative share will go down. Similarly, sir, afforestation is intended to be created as a carbon sink, so that while we do emit a lot, we absorb it also, and so net we end up emitting zero emissions, sir.
What is the target for closure of collieries in our country?
Sir, we do not intend to close down on thermal power plants. As our Honorable Power Minister said, that energy security continues to be a very important aspect of India, and so we would be focusing on increasing the share of renewable energy rather than absolutely decreasing the thermal energy share, sir.
So you can't see a time when this your coal facilities will be retiring?
Sir, perhaps in the distant future we can definitely resort to that. As of now, sir, India does not plan to completely eliminate coal as a source of energy.
What do you mean by green hydrogen?
Sir, green hydrogen is a source of energy which is obtained through electrolysis using solar or other renewable energy.
What are the issues involved in getting the green hydrogen in our country?
So the primary issue is that it is very expensive at the moment. Sir, further the technological infrastructure has to be developed, sir.
Okay. What do you mean by grey hydrogen?
Sir, grey hydrogen, if I recall correctly, sir, is obtained through steam reforming process. So there are emissions in that process, sir.
Okay, and what is a blue hydrogen?
Blue hydrogen, sir, is obtained through electrolysis. There are emissions, but the emissions are captured, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Aryan, you are a chess player.
Yes, sir.
You have played at national level.
Yes.
I mentioned that you have got a ranking 5. What is a FIDE ranking?
Sir, FIDE is the international organization governing chess tournaments all across the world. It stands for Fédération Internationale d'Échecs. It is a French organization. It provides a rating system to all the players who are registered in order to obtain a relative ranking of the players, sir.
What is the relationship between G20 this year meeting and FIDE?
Sir, one relationship that I'm seeing is that it is leading to a more interconnected world. Whether it is through chess tournaments, sir, or it is through direct partnerships in matters of urgency.
What is motto?
Sir, it is based on Vasudhaiv Kutumbakam. It is one world, one family, one future.
That is G20.
Yes, sir.
And what is the motto of FIDE?
Sorry, sir, I'm not aware.
Okay, that's also, we are one family.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Who is the president of FIDE?
Sir, Mr. Arkady Dvorkovich.
And vice president?
Sir, Mr. Vishwanathan Anand.
What is his ranking nowadays?
Sir, I do not recall exactly. I believe he's still in the top 20 international, sir.
And how many times he has won world championship?
5 times, sir.
Which years?
From 2009 to 2013, sir.
Continuously?
Yes, sir. He was, sir, as far as I can recall, sir. I will definitely check again.
Has he ever been number 1 in the world?
Yes, sir.
Yes. When?
Sorry, sir. I do not recall the exact years, but I believe through the years where he was world champion, amongst them, sir, he definitely would have been.
Coming to economy, we have set a target to make Indian GDP $5 trillion. If the GDP today is, let's assume, $3.5 trillion, at what rate it should grow to become 5 trillion by 2025?
Sir, approximately 20% increase rate I'm getting.
Okay.
Sir, I think I'm making a calculation mistake, sorry, sir.
Fine. But do you think this is a realistic target?
Sir, it might be a bit far-fetched, but I believe we should be optimistic. India is taking many positive measures in this direction, and even if not in 2025, perhaps in the coming years, sir, we will definitely attain our goal.
Okay. Next year our growth is projected to be 6.2%. Assuming an annual growth rate of 8%, how many years it will take for us to reach that goal?
Approximately 5 years, sir.
And do you think this economic growth obsession is a desirable economic objective to understand economic progress? What could be the better indicators of economic progress of a society?
Sir, I believe that economic growth is a precursor to economic development, but our priority should be to ensure inclusive growth and development for all. Perhaps, sir, better parameters can be per capita income or international power purchasing parity per capita, sir.
Okay. We are not discussing nowadays unemployment problem. Even the budget never mentioned about unemployment in this year. Do you think government is becoming lax in generation of employment or designing policies so as to generate employment?
Not at all, sir. I would say the government is approaching the issue in the right direction, sir, by tackling the root cause, which is not only the shortage of jobs, but also the lack of employability of a lot of people. So the government is focusing very highly on skill development education. For example, sir, the PM Kaushal Vikas Yojana 4.0, which will increase employability and then thus increase jobs, sir.
Has government taken up this project of sports economy as a serious growth strategy?
Sir, so far we have not been emphasizing on sports, but our Honorable Prime Minister mentioned this year that he foresees sports not only as an extracurricular or part-time activity, but an instrument of personal growth and also an opportunity for economic growth, sir.
What could be the benefits to society if we pick up sports economy as a center stage of our economic growth?
So the first advantage would definitely be that a lot more people would become active participants of the society. Secondly, sir, jobs would increase significantly. As we see in India, and even in rural areas, we find many hidden talents who are exceptional at sports. Thirdly, sir, this would increase our soft power tremendously, which would also lead to increase in investments from many other countries, all leading to multiplier effects, sir, and boost our economy significantly.
Can we develop a sports tourism at world level?
I do believe that is possible, sir. Perhaps it might take a little time, sir, but definitely we can have a sports tourism model where multiple sports are being played. For example, sir, the Khelo India model can be replicated at a wider level.
Okay. When was Khelo India first organized?
Very sorry, sir. I do not recall.
Okay. What are the programs of the government to encourage sports in the country?
Sir, we have a ministry dedicated for sports and youth affairs. Sir, we have initiatives such as the Khelo India program. Sir, in school level, we find...
Who is the minister in charge of this ministry?
Sir, Shri Anurag Singh Thakur.
Okay, continue.
Sir, further at school level, we have evaluation which not only focuses on academics, but also on extracurricular activities, including sports. At college level, sir, we have NSO, which is the National Sports Organization, which is one of the 3 that every student has to choose and take part in sports.
My final question, you are from Sanskriti school. Don't you think that Sanskriti school is an epitome of elitism in the country?
I do not think so, sir. The Sanskriti school was designed to provide education opportunities for the children of civil servants and other services who have to travel a lot. So it is important to have such schools, sir, where such servicemen can have their children go to.
But this will give birth to a new kind of class consciousness, new kind of jati chetna.
Sir, I understand, but sir, we do not have it dedicatedly reserved for civil servant families. There are around 25% minimum which is open to all, sir. And my experience at school, sir, it was a very inclusive system of education. There was no segregation, there was no division, and no such feeling of elitism, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Ayan,
Yes, ma'am.
you are from STEM subjects, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And when we see it in the context of women, right? So we see that India produces quite a good number, around 43-44% of graduates from STEM subjects. But when it comes to employment, right, again the percentage goes down, and India's ranking also almost goes to 19th position in the world, right? So what are the issues which actually plagues our system for providing, the kind of employment which women are seeking from STEM subjects?
Ma'am, one, I would say the overall employability, the lack of opportunities for the requisite skilled jobs are relatively low in India, ma'am. Secondly, ma'am, with regard to women, there is an overall patriarchal setup in India which prevents women from taking up their desired job or career paths. Thirdly, ma'am, a lot of Indians prefer to go outside or to companies which are offering them more monetary benefits, ma'am, which is why they often do not go for India. Fourthly, ma'am, a lot of people take up engineering or mathematical background simply as a wide opportunity for taking up any career. And during their college days or their post-graduation, they decide on different paths, ma'am.
But like if I talk in terms of global phenomena, it's seen that this patriarchy is not only ridden in Indian society, right? It's across the world. And when we see a kind of, when we talk about a level playing field for women, it is not provided to them across the world as well, right? So why so? Are we not able to, deliver the concerns which actually women are facing, or somewhere we are at loss with the systemic issues?
Ma'am, I believe globally the situation is improving everywhere. We find a lot of women taking part in such careers and in such companies. Ma'am, I believe the patriarchal mindset is still there, even in developed countries where seemingly by parameters it may not be present. So, ma'am, in employment, sometimes there is an implicit bias within the recruiters who prefer to take male persons for their employment. But, ma'am,
how do you see this work from home concept for women? Is it kind of enhancing their, participation in the paid domain, or is it somewhere making them more burdened?
Ma'am, I believe there are both sides to this. On one hand, ma'am, women who had to take up maternity leaves or had to take care of their families are also getting the opportunity to contribute to their careers and to take part in such jobs. Secondly, ma'am, it is a lot more convenient for them. They do not have to face issues of taking employment which they may be prohibited by the patriarchal mindset or by their own families. At the same time, ma'am, due to the nature of society at present, women are often the caretakers of family, and they are given the larger share of housework. So often, even despite their work from home, they have to take up the dual responsibility, ma'am.
So a kind of, because data also shows that, domestic violence has also increased because of this work from home concept.
Yes, ma'am. Sorry, ma'am. I should have mentioned that.
No, it's okay. What are the issues you can, I mean, personally, I feel that you may not have first-hand experience of our rural India, right? So even if I want you to, have a very strong say that what are the issues women of rural India are facing at present and how you are going to cater them?
Ma'am, one would definitely be the issue of education, which is common to both men and women in rural areas. Ma'am, I have contributed in NGOs where we had to teach underprivileged women. So, ma'am, I have interacted with them, and I feel that the level
Somewhere across rural India or here only in Delhi?
in Delhi, ma'am.
In Delhi only. Okay. So migrated population.
Sorry, ma'am.
Migrated population.
Ma'am, I believe so. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead. What are the issues women specifically are facing of our rural India?
Secondly, ma'am, would definitely be the tendency of families to not send their girl child to school or even for employment opportunities. Often they are kept at home. They are not allowed to go outside their village or their city to search for jobs or for education opportunities. These are the biggest issues, ma'am. Thirdly, health issues also, ma'am. Women-specific health issues are often not tackled adequately in rural areas. Perhaps the facilities are not there in many areas, ma'am.
Okay, and how would you going to tackle such issues so that the labor force participation of women, it increases? You know, it has increased substantially. It is almost about 27.7% according to economic survey. But how you can increase more if the responsibility is on you?
Ma'am, one would definitely be to inspire the families to change their mindset. Ma'am, one method for that would be to conduct workshops to teach them about opportunities. Secondly, ma'am, success stories, we can call famous women who had their roots in rural areas and ended up very successful due to education. Third, ma'am, we can provide them vocational training, if not mainstream education, so that the families can see the benefit. Fourthly, ma'am, we can invite some NGOs to contribute to education for the rural women, ma'am.
You also need to take care of their family as well.
Yes, ma'am. Very sorry, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Ayan or Ayan?
It's Aryan, ma'am.
Ayan, okay. Can you tell me the difference between habitat and niche?
Ma'am, habitat refers to the entire area where a species resides or even moves across for its entire needs. Niche, ma'am, is the specific role or the functional role that of any organism or any entity plays, ma'am.
Does it
Inside
include habitat?
Ma'am, niche is a subset of habitat as far as I recall, ma'am.
Okay, so it has a component of habitat.
Ma'am, it includes both geographical as well as a role aspect, ma'am.
Okay, so while we have transferred cheetahs from Africa to, what has changed? The habitat, niche, or both, and how is it impacting if it has changed it?
Ma'am, the habitat has definitely changed because of the geographical location. Ma'am, in terms of niche, ma'am, we have tried to keep an equivalent niche as in Africa. So, ma'am, that is why the Kuno Palpur National Park was selected, where the cheetahs would find approximately same niche, ma'am. Where there are no bigger predators, the cheetahs are the apex cat family, ma'am, and where they can find their needs, ma'am, in terms of food and their prey, ma'am.
When we are organizing at the level of organization, there is population, organism, biota, all these different levels of organization and environment. Can you arrange them for me from smallest to largest community or the largest organizational level?
Ma'am, the individual, population, community, habitat, ma'am, and then biome, ma'am, and then biosphere, finally.
Bhopal is situated on which mountain range of MP?
Ma'am, it is near Satpura, ma'am. It is not in a mountainous region, ma'am, but the Satpuras are very nearby.
Okay, and why is it called the City of Lakes?
Ma'am, Bhopal has many famous artificial and natural lakes, ma'am. So it is very famous for that reason.
Can you tell me some of the most famous of these?
Ma'am, the upper lake and the lower lake are the most famous, ma'am.
We have seen that these days the social media has been hosting a lot of influencers. But of late there has been another trend of de-influencers. Are you aware of these de-influencers?
Sorry, ma'am. I'm not.
No idea. Okay, the technology boom that we have seen in just the last decade has the mental health and environmental implications. Can you tell me what are these mental health and environmental implications?
Yes, definitely, ma'am. We have moved to a more materialistic world, ma'am, where people are addicted to their phones or to social media. So, ma'am, from mental health point of view, one would definitely be this materialistic nature where people are moving towards more of possessions and moving away from social relationships with people. Second, ma'am, the time that people end up spending on social media or their devices in any technology. Third, ma'am, from physical health point of view, which also affects mental health, ma'am, it has led to a more sedentary lifestyle leading to poor health or other health issues, which also affects mental, ma'am. Fourth, ma'am, mental peace often gets disturbed when we are continuously looking at the outside world through technology. We are not meeting our friends. We are continuously seeing different people's lives and feeling sad, ma'am. This is what we often think of when we refer to Instagram, ma'am. From environmental implications, ma'am, Most of the technology is highly electricity intensive, whose generation causes a lot of emissions. Secondly, ma'am, newer technology like Bitcoin is very energy intensive. It is said that it can have significant implications. Third, ma'am, electronic waste is also a major issue for environment, ma'am.
And the issue of conspicuous consumption that has led to the environmental implications.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Have you heard about the NISAR?
Yes,
there is
ma'am.
an agreement between India and US. So can you tell me what some more about it?
Ma'am, this NISAR stands for the NASA ISRO Synthetic Aperture Radar, ma'am. This is a satellite to observe the Earth, ma'am. It is, as far as I recall, ma'am, it is the Earth observing satellite, and it will help us plan for resources and also study the Earth from outside.
And so, what are the components of ISRO and the NASA? How have they come together in collaboration?
Very sorry, ma'am. I do not recall.
No idea. Okay, my last question to you. We have been going into the 5G technology in India, but we have faced certain challenges in the implementation. Can you tell me what are these challenges?
Ma'am, first challenge is the infrastructure of 5G, which has to be set up everywhere, ma'am. Second, ma'am, for individuals also, they will have to change their handset because 5G is not compatible with the older ones. So spreading its acceptance is an important issue. Third, ma'am, there is also a challenge of air flights of airplanes which operate in the same bandwidth range, ma'am, as 5G. So these are concerns. Fourthly, ma'am, there is a concern that because 6G will be out soon, so perhaps if we spend millions or too much on 5G, it might go to waste because we will have to upgrade soon anyway, ma'am.
And the tower density, would that impact anything?
Ma'am, 5G, because it has a very high frequency, it has a smaller wavelength, ma'am, and it can travel very low distances. So it would require a lot more towers, ma'am, which can cause disruption to other signals, can also impact birds, ma'am, because the towers are not very high.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Ayan,
Yes.
India is going to host the G20 summit this year. So, what do you think? There are more opportunities for India in hosting this summit, or there are more challenges for India?
Sir, I would definitely say there are more opportunities than challenges. Sir, it would allow us to invite a lot more investment. It would promote India's soft power. It would also lead to development of the various regions where the meetings are conducted.
Okay, but what about the challenges? Which top 3 challenges you foresee?
So first I would say is the large expenditure in every meeting.
What about the geopolitics?
Sir, in conducting in different places of India or in India altogether?
I'm saying that the world is divided into basically 2 camps. So, would it be easy for India to get all the 20 countries or 19 countries and EU on the same stage?
Yes, sir. It would definitely be difficult, sir, to balance everyone's interests.
So, this challenge would be bigger than the expenditure challenge or like lesser than it?
So perhaps it would be difficult to quantize it, but sir, by focusing on common issues such as climate change and terrorism, which affect every country, this challenge can be surmounted, sir, with relative ease, I believe.
Okay. Who is a G20 Sherpa and what is his role?
Sir, the Sherpa meeting occurs before the formal meeting. They are a predecessor to the actual meeting, sir, to the ministers. Their role is to set up the state, sir, the platform.
Who is India's G20 Sherpa?
Sorry, sir, I'm not able to recall.
And what is the role of G20 Troika? Why such a body is needed?
So the Troika refers to the previous president of G20, the current president of G20 and the the forthcoming president of G20. Sir, it allows for a continuity in shift of G20 in the presidency.
Okay, and why that continuity is needed? Because?
So one is to remove arbitrariness in terms of who will be the next president. There will be no disputes. Secondly, sir, in terms of the agendas of G20, there will be relative.
Does G20 have a permanent secretariat?
No, sir.
It doesn't have. Okay. And who are the 3 countries in G20 Troika and why is it unique this time?
Sir, I believe Indonesia and India are there. I do not recall the third one, sir. Sorry,
Brazil.
sir. Thank you, sir.
So why is it unique now?
So these are all 3 developing countries from the global south, sir.
And now there was a lot of controversy over Sammet Shikhar. What is the controversy?
Sir, the Sammet Shikhar is a pilgrimage site for Jains, considered the most important site. So
what about Santals? What about Santals?
Yes, sir. Sir, the Sammet Shikharji is in the Parshvanath Hills, where there are many tribals. The Santals are the dominant tribe. So, sir, the debate is about whether to promote tourism so as to benefit the Santals or to maintain the sanctity of the place.
Santals know this place as what, or they refer to this place as what?
Sir, if I recall correctly, it is Giridhi. I will check again, sir.
You can check it up. Who do you think has a better case, the Santals or the Jain community?
Sir, we definitely have to respect both sides, sir. It is not a clear divide, I would say.
Why your chief minister is referred to as Mama?
Sir, it was due to his informal nature of interacting with people and how pleasantly he used to greet. Sir, I will check if there is any other reason.
Yes. What do you understand by this term unparliamentary words?
Sir, in the parliament meeting, sir, often the discussions tend to become unruly or informal. So, sir, such unparliamentary words are often said, which are considered a breach of.
Who decides what is parliamentary or unparliamentary?
Sir, as per my understanding, it is the honourable speaker who decides.
Also for Rajya Sabha? Or it is the presiding officer in each house?
Yes, very sorry, sir. The presiding officer in general. Sir.
Which rule, if something has to be expunged from the records, which rule is used?
Sir, I do not recall the exact clause, sir. It is a part of the Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha rules, sir.
Okay. Now, the chess Olympiad,
yes,
when was it held? The latest one?
The 44th Olympiad, sir. Sir, it was held in August, as far as I recall, in Chennai, sir.
In Chennai, okay. So, who won that competition and in which, how many categories were there?
Sir, there was the open category and the women category. In the open category, sir, I think Uzbekistan won, and in women category, Ukraine won, sir.
And what about India's position?
Sir, we were second or third, sir.
We were third in both the events.
Thank you, sir.
Now, Prime Minister Modi, he went there, and I want you to complete the sentence, right? When he inaugurated the Chess Olympiad, so he said that in sports there are winners, and after that, what he said?
Very sorry, sir. I had
not aware. Okay. Last question, you have maths optional.
Yes, sir.
So tell me, like, zero was invented or discovered?
Sir, the original person who gave zero is not mentioned, sir. We have not been able to find the person, but he was an unknown Indian mathematician. Later, sir, Aryabhatta and Brahmagupta discovered zero, and they gave rules about it, sir.
So it was not invented; it was already there.
Sir, a particular Indian mathematician whose name is not known formalized the concept, sir. Perhaps the concept of zero was there throughout, sir.
Thank you. Sir.
Thank you, sir.
Ayan,
yes, sir.
Sardar Patel had once said that civil servant should work without fear and favor and without any expectation of reward. Now, is it possible for a civil servant to adhere to this philosophy in today's India?
Sir, I believe it is definitely possible. In terms of without fear and favor, we can definitely have, sir, a person with high moral standards and integrity. Sir, from fear point of view, sir, trust in the system will ensure a person is not fearful because there is enhanced transparency, sir. There is adequate protection in case there is anything to be worried about. In terms of favor, sir, if we trust that other persons in government are also honest, we do not have to worry, sir, as the persons involved are either the bureaucrats or the representatives of the people, all of whom want the best for the people. In terms of without expectation, sir, as the present salary of civil servants is adequate, sir, and the living cost is also not very high, hence, sir, a person does not need to be greedy or look for higher expectation of reward, sir.
Okay. Ayan, you are a Jain, must be a vegetarian?
Yes, sir.
Tell me, what would happen if the entire world turned vegetarian?
Sir, it would disrupt the ecosystem, sir, because there is a well-established food chain. That would be my first point, sir, that the population of certain animals may increase significantly, which can further affect the species or the plants or animals that these animals used to consume. From a health point of view, sir, certain persons may not be able to obtain their protein or dietary needs unless they adequately balance it, sir.
What impact it will make on the environment?
So the first impact would be that, sir, due to the disproportionate rise in certain species, for example, chickens, so there might be overgrazing, there can be a disruption in the entire ecosystem, sir. It will lead to an overall instability.
Okay, thank you very much, Ayan. Your interview is over. You may go.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Sit down, Ayan.
Yes.
And this is going to be your first interview at the UPSC?
Yes, sir.
And which attempt is this?
Second attempt, sir.
Your second attempt. How have you done in your theory papers, maths and GS?
Good, sir.
Good. You are satisfied?
Yes, sir.
Okay. How about your today's experience?
Sir, I believe I could have been more clear about some current affairs issues and the environment questions, ma'am, I think I should have known.
You are an excellent candidate, let me tell you at the very outset.
Thank you, sir.
For the civil services. Number one, your communication skill is excellent. You could convey your your thoughts in a very lucid manner. So, and you are a very young boy, and you maintained element of honesty also. That is another good quality of a prospective civil servant. So we didn't find any major flaw in your personality test.
Thank you.
So if you maintain this kind of energy level, and if you are able to interact with the board members on a variety of issues the way you did today, you will be getting very good marks.
Thank you, sir.
So just by way of advice, we are telling you something which you did not do today.
Yes.
But just keep it in mind when you go for the interview that your personal integrity is very important. You must maintain your personal integrity and integrity of purpose. Purpose means whatever answers you give, it should reflect of your basic integrity.
Yes.
In answer making, in answers also, that is very important. The integrity is number one. Number two is you have to be a patient listener. Listen to the questions, try to understand its intent, what could be the intent of the question, and then try to give answers in a very crisp manner. That is very important. Focused answers, crisp answers, to the point answers. Third thing, if in any area, if you find that you are capable of giving a unique solution to the problem, then you must go ahead. Unique means any out of the box solution.
Yes.
Any your idea which is really acceptable. So that any issue, if you think that this is the time when I can offer such a solution, go ahead with such a solution. Yeah. Then it is also generally seen whether you are a team player and a team leader or not, and that is gets reflected only through your answers. So some such questions, if they are posed, try to convince the board that you are a team player as well as a team leader. That is very important. Next is your patience. Patience is also important. Next is your neutrality, balanced views. So balance of judgment and neutrality is very important for a prospective civil servant. So maintain that. Don't take any extreme view on anything.
Yes.
Isn't it? And honesty, as I said, it gets a premium. So honesty means that if you don't know a question, answer to a question, don't hazard a guess.
Yes.
As in your just in a rush of movement, you should not be answering a question which you don't know. That is very important. So no guesswork, no surmises, no conjectures. That is for sure.
Yes.
Even if you don't know 40% of answers, candidly admit I don't know. Okay. If you are able to maintain all that and stay positive, a positive body language and a smile on face, radiance on face. So these are very important, and stay cool, calm, composed and confident at the same time. Only these are the traits. If you are able to demonstrate these qualities in your personality, you will be getting anything in the range of 200 or so.
Thank you, sir.
So you have to maintain that only.
Yes.
Now coming to today's performance, some knowledge gap was there here and there, as you yourself have observed, because you are a chess player and you have participated at various levels. Probably some interest may be generated in that.
Yes.
And some people may ask you about this concept of FIDE and all that. What is the motto of FIDE and all? That is expected of a person who has participated. That is why. So Vishwanathan Anand, you just update your knowledge on this. That is important. Then sports schemes, we thought that you would be giving more on to this. So whatever schemes have been launched by the government of India in the recent years, make a note of that.
Yes.
And if such question is asked, try to include those schemes also, just to make your answers more crisp and more meaningful. Okay. Yeah, because we have spent your entire life so far in urban setting. Normally, a question comes in somebody's mind that whether you have seen rural India or not, whether you are aware of the problems faced by the rural India or not. So, rural India, when we talk of rural India, rural women, children's problem, and everywhere, whatever schemes have been launched by the government in these areas, social inclusion area, financial inclusion area, you should be knowing one or two schemes in each area. That is very important. Similarly, innovation, because you are a young boy, and you have studied from the IIT. So reputation of IIT, why it is so much hyped in the country, why so many IITs are there, what is the difference between the original traditional IITs and the IITs which have come up now, why private sector institutions are not coming at par with the IITs, suicide rates and dropout rates, all those questions are very general in nature. Those questions may also be asked.
Yes.
So try to give a very balanced views on all that. Then electrical engineering is your area of study. So what are the issues the country is facing on that front? That is very important. So keep a note of what is the installed capacity of this thing. What are the issues and what is the generation? How much is the generation? Then various sources of energy and all that. So just make a mental note of that. The non-fossil, which energy contributes the maximum and all. And then new concepts as we discussed. Read more on that. So it's a step towards international cooperation. India is so far not a member of this, but it is likely to be inducted very shortly. So you are aware of that. Then about your issue, G20 challenges, you said money is a problem, fund is a constraint. Fund is a constraint, but fund is a constraint everywhere in anything. Think of something better. And getting all together, all world leaders together itself is a challenge, isn't it? Of different views and different philosophy, getting them together itself is a challenge. That kind of an answer.
Yes.
That is, and this Samvad Shikhar and all that, that is known. So when such question is asked, don't give only immediately perspective from the Jain, also from the tribals. You answered well. Your solution was which you offered was very nice. Answer you gave was very nice. But first attempt, if such question is asked, better to.
Yes.
Otherwise, you are an excellent candidate, I tell you, and you will be getting very good marks. There is no doubt in our mind, and you will definitely be in the list of successful candidates.
Thank you.
And maybe a ranker also. Okay. All the best to you.
Thank you.
All the best.
Thank you.